Damn it. I worked so hard on this cake. Yes, it is. Oh, right, I have to make it. Oh, it's gonna take so much work. Welcome back to JonnyCakes. Did my voice just crack? Welcome back to JonnyCakes, and today we're calling it Jenga cakes because we're gonna make a Jenga tower cake. And the reason for this actually is because of you guys. Thank you so much. I did a video where I was like asking you if items around my house were cake or real, and I pulled out like a real Jenga tower, and I was like, is this a real Jenga or fake Jenga? And it was real Jenga. Started the show over there, but today we're gonna cakeify it because you guys really wanted me to. And I'm a man of the people. So making a Jenga tower cake is sort of interesting. There's two ways to do this. I was thinking one, I could do like a solid tower like that and just the outside looks like Jenga, but the inside's full of cake. But I thought it'd be fun if you could actually play the game, which means that we have to make Jenga size cake pops. So how fun would that be at a party? I wish I had friends over. It would be so much fun if I had friends. But maybe you can do it if you have friends. So the first thing we're gonna do is make the cake pop dough. I'm gonna put gloves on so y'all don't frickin' yell at me on the computer. Yo, it's so fun to be an adult because you can buy things like doctor gloves. So we're gonna break up the cake into a big bowl. Golden rule with cake pop dough is you want 90% cake and only 10% frosting, or in this case, ganache. So not much, right? Like that is more than enough. The reason for that is you don't want your cake pop dough to get too wet because it won't set right. So I'm just gonna mix this all together with my glovey hands. It's a meatball. We're done with that. All right, so we're gonna make a ton more cake pop dough. Ooh, that was stressful. We're gonna make a ton more cake pop dough and then set it aside because there's a whole nother step that we have to do before we can even use this. Dun, dun, dun. I was so mysterious. A whole nother, what could it be? Okay, my little babies, don't worry, I'm coming back. You know, cake making. This is how your grandma made cake. I'm like bringing out like chemicals, Breaking Bad, but cake. Here's the deal. I'm insane and I wanted to make my own Jenga mold. That's stupid. You can get Jenga molds online. I'll link some below. So this next step, don't do. Or do, because I'll tell you why you should. Let me do it. Do it because I'm making my own mold, because if I mold Jenga pieces, we're gonna get all the detail of a real Jenga piece, including the wood grain. So that's hot. Here's how you do it. You need a container and you need whatever you want to mold, in this case, Jenga pieces. I'm gonna use some hot glue to put them inside of the mold and keep them secure. Then I'm gonna mix equal parts A and B silicone mold and pour that over our Jenga pieces. So I have to let this sit for about 6 hours so that it solidifies and becomes a usable mold and not liquid. And then once I pop the Jenga pieces out, we have to wait like another 6 or 10 hours. So it's gonna be a long chill break. Chill break, it's a chill break. Garfinkel Dramamine, he is the guy for me. We live in matrimony, that's Garfinkel Dramamine. Well, that was a beautiful slumber. Chill break over, the mold has set, and all I have to do is pop my little guys right out of it. So I made an extra mold because I'm extra like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this single mold to mold the actual cake pop material. Now that I made a Jenga shaped cake pop, I wanna get it sort of like rock hard. So we're gonna pop it in the freezer for like 20 minutes. So we need to make Jenga colored chocolate. That's a sentence you don't say every day. But I do. I actually say that every day. And I'm urgent. I run into a room. I go, we need to make Jenga colored chocolate. And people are like, who's this crazy man? Okay, so anyway, I found these candy melts that are peanut butter flavored at Michael's. This is not sponsored, but Michael, if you want to be my sugar daddy, think about it. But these are like too dark, so like that's not right. If I take, I think like for every 2 white, if I add 1 peanut butter, we'll get sort of this color. All right, so I'm gonna count these out. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 9, 11, 12. This is literally Sesame Street. My goal is to be on Sesame Street. If anyone from Sesame Street is watching, Elmo, The Count, Big Bird, even Oscar the Grouch. I know we have a rocky history, but I want to bake with the Muppets. Okay, we have to microwave this in 30-second intervals so we don't burn the chocolate. Let's go to my microwave. I also watched a video recently that said that you don't get cancer from standing in front of the microwave. Oh, my ex texted me. So we have these candy melts all melted.
Do you text your ex a lot?
I mean, sometimes.
Garfinkel feel about that.
Right, Garfinkel gets jealous. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna act fast and do this all like as quick as possible. We're gonna take the mold we made and fill each cavity with this Jenga colored candy melt concoction. Then we are going to take our trimmed cake pops and push them into each cavity. That will make it so that the candy melts go up and around the sides of each cake pop and fully envelop them. Now we need to let these set. So I'm gonna put them on a flat surface so I can pick them up and not make it wonky. We want this to be square and perfect. You can let them set at room temperature for like 2 hours, or you can pop them in the fridge to expedite the process, which is definitely what I'm gonna do. In the fridge, I would put these for like 45 minutes. You can do freezer for 10. Great, so I let this chill for a bit. We know they're ready to be popped out because you can like kind of feel they're hard and they're not gonna like melt on you at this point. So I'm just gonna ever so slightly, very gently, release them from the silicone mold. So this is the real Jenga block and this is the fake cake version. You can see there's a little bit of that like wood grain texture, which I wanna emulate. So what I'm going to do is paint it. So we're gonna take a little bit of brown food dye and we're going to take a little bit of vodka. There's vodka in this, yeah. And then I'm gonna take some fresh steel wool. Don't use gross steel wool. So we're gonna rub the steel wool on this piece to make some grooves. Those grooves will be perfect for the paint to like adhere to. I'm gonna brush off any of the excess chocolate. And then we're gonna take a clean paper towel and get it really like dyed. So obviously this is way too dark, but don't you worry. Don't you worry your pretty little mind. People throw rocks at things that shine and life makes love look hard. Now that was Taylor Swift. So you see how there's like that grain. We want the color in the grooves of the grain, but we don't want it on the actual like face of it. Take some vodka, fully gonna wipe it off. So you can see it's still too dark. It's not the right color, but we're just gonna keep removing the excess and eventually it'll get there. The cool thing about Jenga pieces is they're all different colors. They're just slightly different. So they don't have to be perfect. So on some of the pieces, I'll do more brown. On some, I'll leave them a little lighter. So we'll get variation. Now we repeat that process 48 more times. Oh boy, okay. I'll see you on the other side. Well, there you have it, a Jenga cake that you can actually play if you have friends. My friends didn't show up today, so. All right, let's play. I'm gonna go for the bottom piece. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe because I need friends, clearly. Who plays Jenga alone? Who does that? So sad.